Waimea is about 15 to 18 feet right now. I think there might be some 20-foot sets coming through. I'm not sure. They didn't run the eddy. The north wind is pretty strong. Switching to northeast, I'm pretty sure. And it looks like it's starting to white cap out the back. And there's a lot of guys out, so trying to figure out what board to take. I got this 10-foot quad fin, or I got a 8-10 thruster. So gotta decide. All right, so I'm gonna ride the 10-0 just because it's a bigger board, it's windy, and it's gonna be my first time out there, so better to have, I guess, a bigger board than a smaller board. The only reason with the smaller board is just because then it would be easier to like set my rail, set my line, and it would just be easier for me to manage once I got on the wave. But obviously the 10-0 is gonna help me get into waves easier. So I'm riding Alex's board, using Derek's leash and using Kaleo's fins. Fully just pieced this board together from different people, you know? But then I had to figure out how I would actually get to Waimea from where I was staying, and it was 3 miles away. So my options were hitchhiking or riding this bike. So Alex let me borrow this bike because he wouldn't care if it did get stolen. First order of business was pumping the tires up with air because they were absolutely flat. Then I spent 45 minutes oiling the chain just so that it could work because it was so rusted out. And the gear shifter was messed up so it would click every 2 to 3 seconds as you were riding it. And the seat hurt my butt really bad. But none of that bothered me because I was finally on my way to go surf. Wow, the bike ride back was brutal. Like going there, I was like, okay, no, just man up and do it. But coming back was brutal for sure. But I'm super stoked on my first experience out there. I got 6 or 7 really fun ones. Like I was kind of building up. My first 3 were just like kind of like smaller ones, just like chipped in on the side, kind of shoulder hopped it. But I'm psyched. My expectations of the waves being super gnarly were like up here, and then they were like way more down here. And everyone was like wearing pole vests and powder wetsuits and had like custom boards. And I'm like out there doing the complete opposite.
So imagine you fucking come up from a wave and you're like, whoa, did I lose my board? You're like, oh no, there it is, way over there. You just gotta swim to it.
Alright, little story time. Sitting out there in the lineup at Waimea, this smaller wave comes through. It's an inside one. I was out there for maybe 30 minutes, and so I just wanted to start off the session with a couple small ones. Then I see this guy paddling his ass off from out the back to get this wave. There's already another guy going that's deeper than him, so I'm like, all right, no, these guys got it for sure. But then I can't get out of his way because there's these 2 Japanese girls blocking me in. And so I turned my board this way so he has as much room as possible because it's a 10-foot board, and so it takes up a lot of room. So he had probably like 10 feet to spare. And as he's coming towards me, he's getting closer and closer. And he's coming directly at me, like gonna fully run me over. I'm like, whoa, what is this guy doing, this kook? And he can't see me, and I can't see him because he's got his board way up in the air like this. The nose of his board is like this. So we can't make any contact. Runs me over, and then at the last second, like turns away, put a fin gash in the rail of Alex's board. Just like right above the fins. So I'm like, what a kook, bro. An idiot, like, what are you doing? He doesn't ruin my session. I gotta go downstairs and fix Alex's board so I can ride it tomorrow. But I don't think it'll be big enough for Waimea. snapped it.
Bust your stick. Oh, man. Tragedy. Sorrows of Waimea, dude. Should see the other guy. Ben's
shortboard right there.
3 boards out of that.
I know, these are both my shortboards right here.
Look.
Oh man.
That's where my neck's sore this morning.
The dude behind you kind of sat down where you fucking cartwheel. You poke and go over. You're like poking over.
Board's too big.
Oh, the other guy slid down in the face. Oh, and then the slide down the face.
You hit that fucking
Then
board.
the wave spit.
I was probably way too light for that one.
It's for the vlog.
Out the back, screen the peak, Joey Johnson, backdoor reach.
Oh.
And Reese coming out, smashing off the top.
After watching the shootout, I got so psyched after just watching everybody get drained and the waves were still pumping and the wind was still good. I wanted to paddle out as soon as the contest was over, but for obvious reasons, I was not the only guy with that idea, so it was really crowded. So I've been out there for an hour and a half and I still have yet to ride my first wave. I've yet to catch a wave. And I'm getting really frustrated because the sun has literally already set. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna be out here in the dark without even catching a wave. But at least I was not the only guy in that situation, so that made me feel better. It was just hard to be in the right spot at the right time because I was always too deep, I was always too far in the shoulder, or I was always too far out or too far in. Like I could never be at the right spot at the right time. So finally, I'm paddling into this mid-sized wave, I'm dropping down the face, grabbing my rail, and then all of a sudden this backwash comes, and I go over the first bump, and then I go over the second bump, and as I'm going over the second bump, I fully go sideways and air drop down the face, and then I land sideways on the face of the wave, catch my rail, and then just go full like face plant down the face of the wave. And now I just ate shit on my first wave, and I'm really bummed. I'm like mad now. So I paddle back out, and I wait some more, and then I can see that there's a set coming through right now. But then there's like this sick inside wave, like fully doubling up on the reef. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna score this thing and get absolutely drained. And so I'm scratching, I'm paddling my ass off to get into this wave. And at the last second, it doesn't let me in. It just like ledges over the reef without me. And then now I look behind me and I turn around and I look behind me. And there's like the set of the day right there. And it's just fully like drawing all this water off the reef and fully doubling up. And they're just saying, when the wave breaks here, don't be there. That's exactly where I was. I was in the worst possible place to be. And so I throw my board, I get under the wave just barely, and I feel the explosion go and I'm get like a little bit smoked, but I'm fine. And I pop up and my board's in 2 pieces, just completely snapped. So I'm like, wow, you gotta be kidding me. And I turn around and there's no one right there. And I'm in the worst possible place to be again. Because when you're in that place, you can't move and you can't go anywhere. You're like stuck in this rip. There's all this water just like holding you in this one spot. And so I just get smoked by like these 5, 6 waves, just getting absolutely hammered in the worst possible place to be. Finally make it in after getting smoked. I'm gassing. I'm walking up the beach with half a board in front of everybody. I'm feeling like the biggest kook because I snapped my board without even riding a wave, let alone getting barreled. It's the worst feeling in the world. There she is, my 6'5" troubleshooter, snapped right in half in 2 pieces after I was just talking about how much I like this board. Okay, but the crazy thing is, last year, I snapped the 6'4" green Pang 2 days before I left. And this year, I snapped this 6'5" troubleshooter 2 days before I left. So, that's pretty crazy.